I wet sanded with True Oil and at 2500 grit. So I just took 2500 sandpaper with some True Oil on it and just flattened the whole thing. And that gave this a really nice glassy feel to it. I actually took a buffing pad on a drill. Here, let me show you. Buffing pad on a drill with some Turtle Wax clean finish polishing compound. And this foam pad here is very fine, so it's not that abrasive. It's to get a shine. And this is where it's at so far. So as you can see, there's definitely a reflection. And the back as well. Let's do some shielding in the cavity. So the idea behind shielding the cavity is to reduce the chance of radio waves coming in, interfering with the electronics and stuff like that. Normally on single coil guitars, you would also shield the pickup cavities, but this is a double humbucker guitar, so don't really need that. The only thing we really have to make sure of when we shield this cavity is that there's continuity everywhere, so that basically you're ending up grounding the cavity through this copper tape. So that's what I'm using here. It's kind of like a foil, but it's copper. It's got an adhesive back, and I'm going to essentially shield this entire cavity. Obviously, then poke the holes through for everything else. And then eventually the input jack and everything, gets grounded, or the shielding gets grounded through that. And also, I'm going to make sure that the shielding goes up to this recessed area here, and then I will shield the back of this, the cover, so that when I put it on top, that gets shielded as well. Okay, so we can check the connectivity of the shielding to make sure that it's all touching by using a meter like this to check for continuity, just to make sure it's all touching. So here we go. Now, some people use aluminum foil and a spray adhesive, and you can certainly do that. It's not quite as good as the copper, since we're probably going to solder the ground to this copper. You can't really solder to the aluminum foil as well, but you just have to overlap pieces of aluminum foil, make sure they're touching for continuity, and that sort of thing. So this is just easier. Just buy a roll of this copper tape. Works a treat. So let's check this. I'm setting this to the audible continuity setting, and then I can just touch one side. There we go. So far, so good. now let's check for continuity. Looking good. And now my cavity is fully shielded. Then I will ground it once I put in all the electronics. So the finish is dry enough, or cured enough, I should say, that I'm going to install the tailpiece posts and the bridge posts. So this is what they look like. So let's get those in. Those are that. And these are for the bridge. And then I'm going to take this mallet and just gently tap them in. Yeah, I just realized as I was hammering these in that I didn't tape off the finish. I don't want to ruin the finish. I don't want it to crack or anything, so I'm going to put one more little piece over here. Okay, so these need to be hammered in. All right, so I hammered those in pretty much as far as they'll go. And now I can fit on the bridge posts. And then the posts for the tailpiece, the big ones. All right, and now here's the Tune-o-Matic bridge, which just sits right on top of those posts. And here's the tailpiece, which fits right there. And we can tighten things down. And of course, once we install the neck and the strings and everything, we can adjust the heights as needed. So there it is.